I'm Kholoud. I'm a co-founder of the Free Women of Daraya. We are a group of women activists who were some of the first to take to streets when the revolution started. I started one of the only Syrian newspapers that still has reporters all over the country. We document the violations against human rights and shed light on the stories of the people who are surviving the war, especially women. My back is to you, not only for my personal safety. It is also to show that I am not the only woman activist in Syria. I represent hundreds of thousands of women working every day to battle war. We were not alone in Daraya. What we see is women are doing amazing work to end the conflict in Syria and to keep their communities together, but no one is drawing on them as a resource. Women like Alwan are mediating local ceasefires between the regime and the opposition to open humanitarian routes to get desperately needed resources to besieged communities. Women like Ghalia are running women's centers around the country. These centers are empowering widows of the conflict to be financially independent. When al-Nusra, an extremist group, tried to close the center, those women forced them to keep it open. And Noor, who is negotiating with ISIS to keep girls' schools open. Our villages are all women and children because the men have been killed, detained, or fled so they wouldn't be recruited into armed groups. Women are holding their families and communities together under unimaginable circumstances. The peace talks have failed us twice. If we want the next round to succeed, the voices of women like Alwan, Ghalia, and Noor need to be heard at the table. Syrian women have almost no support as they struggle to create real peace. Imagine what they could do with more support. Imagine what would happen if we elevate their voices. They are the hope for Syria.
We are standing with our Syrian sisters. The situation in Syria is really devastating. But I'm here to tell you this evening that there is hope. I come from Nigeria, where Boko Haram has really ravaged our country. And prior to Boko Haram, I lived in a town where there was so much religious conflicts between Christians and Muslims. Thousands of people lost their lives, and the whole city was segregated along religious lines. Our markets were different, our hospitals were different, our schools were different. We couldn't even cross over to the other side. All that changed in 2010 when about 530 women in a village close to where I lived were brutally murdered by militants. And we women felt it was time to get out of our comfort zones and do something about the situation, and we did. The Christian women held a march to protest the killings and demand that the government must bring the perpetrators to book or to justice. And the Muslim women also responded that their own people were killed as well, and they held a march. And after the two marches, the killings continued. And so we decided to come together to form a common front. And we have stood together as sisters and fought this war together. Today, I can comfortably go into the Muslim community and I'm safe. And the same happens to my Muslim sisters coming to Christian communities, and they are safe. All it takes is the willpower and the desire to make a change. We're here this evening, and I just want to challenge all of us to come on this table of waging peace and to fight the things that divide and separate us. In the long run, the color of blood is the same all over the world. The composition of our tears is the same all over the world. The smell of war is the same all over the world. Let us be bound by our common humanity. And all it takes is a mustard seed, the faith of a mustard seed that can move mountains. And when we call on board, all of us here, I truly believe that we can move those mountains. And it is not tomorrow, it is today. It is right now, it is here. So I want to welcome you on board, and I want to thank you so much for being part of our struggle and for allowing us to be part of your evening. And as you leave here today, please remember the hundreds and thousands of women that are in the field at the grassroots level fighting the same war. I want to thank you once again, and on behalf of all my sisters, Waging Peace Network, and all the other hundreds and thousands of women that are not here, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. And thank you for the desires in your heart to do something about the situation. Thank you.